welcome to yet another edition of the Capacity Building Training, proudly brought to you by the Triconna Association of Realtors platform. We are so excited to have you here with us, and we promise you that this training would be one that would affect your career significantly. So what you do now is to share this link to your family, your friends, your colleagues, or business partners, but just be the reason somebody does better pitches after today. So take a minute and do that now, and then come back to join us. A little introduction. I'm Christabel Charles, also known as a social media maven. And as always, it's a pleasure being the one to guide these conversations that's shaping us better as realtors and business professionals. With that said, I am honored to be your host for tonight. This month's theme is one that every realtor and business professional should know and should learn. Learn to pitch like a boss. That's turning complex sales pitches into compelling reasons why people should buy. And with us today, we have somebody that's experienced and prospered in the real estate world. A little backstory on who our speaker is. Our speaker today hails from Ayazu Mbise in Imo State. She's happily married and has 2 children. She has bagged the Bachelor of Arts degree in English language from Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Okwa. She also got a postgraduate diploma in education from Usmanu Danfodi University, Sokoto. She further acquired Masters of Arts degree in linguistics from University of Port Harcourt. Her real estate journey started as she witnessed the death of a hardworking male neighbor who worked for so many years as a public servant and couldn't afford a piece of property because he didn't know about the property acquisition, pay small scheme. His death threw his family homeless and hopeless, since his wife couldn't afford their decent rented apartment and good life with her petty trading. In the course of finding a seamless housing solutions for friends and relatives, Mrs. Gloria founded Chiglosko Homes Limited, where she partners with genuine real estate companies in Port Harcourt, Lagos, Abuja, and Asaba to provide affordable and luxury real estate investment to suit each class of investors in Nigeria and in diaspora. Over the years, she has helped over hundreds of satisfied clients, investors, and landlords. Her expertise and excellence in the real estate industry has been recognized with numerous national bestsellers awards. She recently got awarded as Port Harcourt Realtor of the Year 2025 by Port Harcourt Magazine Awards. And with that being said, can we make welcome Mrs. Chiamaka? Thank you so much for being here, ma.
Thank you so much.
I don't know if I mentioned it, but you're looking so stunning.
Thank you again.
All right. So before we go on, I would like you to just give a brief introduction about this topic. What do you think? Like pitch like a boss.
Okay. Pitching skill is a skill that every realtor, every business owner should have, because you might have a nice property. Now, speaking to realtors, you might have a nice property and your inability to pitch very well to a prospecting client or prospective clients might make you to lose that sale. So as a realtor, you should acquire this pitching skill, because if you don't communicate the property very well, even if it's a beautiful property, you end up losing the clients.
Right. So pitching is something that every realtor, in fact, everyone that is in the business space should learn how to do. Yeah. But what will you say pitching like a boss means? Like, is it confidence? What exactly does it mean to pitch like a boss?
Okay. Pitching like a boss, to me, makes you to speak like an authority, like you know the property very well. You're not talking about the property like you're making the client to buy it by force, but telling the client the benefits, like selling the benefits of the property to the clients. All right. So that way you can win the sale more from the clients.
Yeah, that's so good. Thank you so much. But what will you say would make pitches simpler for realtors? Like, how can they simplify their pitches better to clients and prospects?
Okay. When you don't sound too desperate, okay? And when you use the part of storytelling, I don't know if you want me to explain further.
Yeah, ma'am.
All right.
Like that.
Okay. Like when a client calls you, you're sounding like, okay, good afternoon. This property is located in Ruboku. It is selling for 5 million naira, and it's 600 square meters. Like the clients will be like, huh. It's the usual language that every realtor speaks, right? But when you speak like a professional, good afternoon, welcome to Chiglosko Homes Limited. How may we help you today? The client is like listening oh, she wants to help me, not that she wants to sell a property to me,
Exactly.
right? Okay, then you go ahead to tell the clients, instead of saying, yeah, it is fenced, with a gate, it has a gatehouse, you will just tell the client that it's located in a secured neighborhood. Okay, even if you want to tell the client that it is fenced, but in the head you have recorded that it's in a safe neighborhood where they can live, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Then talking about maybe let's say payment or ROI, return on investment. You don't
Yeah.
just tell the client that if you buy now, the price will increase
100%
next month.
return of
No, you
investment.
can just tell the client that if you buy now, by next month, you'll be making maybe 25% extra from what you paid, right?
Yes,
Yeah. So you communicate that kind of value to them. That will make them to, want to buy from you because you are speaking the language they understand. All right. Maybe a client is calling and he currently have a place he's staying, and maybe it's not an estate. It doesn't have drainage. It doesn't, people can walk in and out anytime. And this client is calling you and you're telling him fence and all that. That's not what
That's not
he
what
wants to
hear.
hear. All right. Because he has a pain point, he has a place that the shoe is paining him. So there are little things that he wants you to tell him. And if you fail to tell him those things, I think you're already losing that client.
So, but then you made something of storytelling. There's something I've learned or I have seen realtors do where they know that they want to connect with their clients, they want to add emotions and all that.
Yeah.
So we know that there's a very thin line between oversharing and not oversharing. Let's just say a very invisible line. Because so how can I pitch when I want to use storytelling? I don't want to sound too desperate. I want to sound relatable to the prospect or clients I'm talking to at that point. How would I know when I'm not oversharing?
Okay. Using a storytelling to sell a property to me, I think is the best.
Okay, ma'am.
Because as of yesterday, I had a client that called and he was telling me, okay, a property that is selling for 50 million. He's telling me that he has 8 million naira and he wants to go for 2 plots. First of all, I had to, congratulate him for having the zeal to, get
Actually
a property
invest.
just to welcome him.
Yeah.
And then I went on to tell him the features, what he's going to benefit. And then he's telling me that some properties around the what that they're selling for 5 million or 8 million naira. And what's the next thing for me to tell this client? He already has someone offering him a property
Something
for
cheaper.
8 million naira and
Yeah.
mine is 15 million naira. I had to tell him that, sir, most properties around Elipopodo are encumbered properties. The government might come after them after a while. He said, but people are living around there. I said, yes, sir. We also have cases of demolition that you have places that people are currently occupying that government might demolish in the nearest future. So, if you're buying a property, you have to make sure you chart it and make sure that the property is not in an encumbered area. That is why at Chiglosco Homes Limited, our properties might seem to you expensive, but we are selling value because we are selling peace of mind. We are giving you the future, a future that your children can enjoy in peace. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
So after telling the client all this, I think I won his heart yesterday.
So you went from being emotional with him and relating with him, but you tried as much as possible not to overshare. Because one thing we know is there are things that are good. There are some realtors that I know I've noticed something is good, but as far as it's not giving them the money, they don't want to sell it to you. So like in a situation, probably your clients reached out to you, he wants to get a property at Rupoku for whatever amount he had, and then you don't have a property at Rupoku, you have at Enika. And then instead of telling him, probably it's at the same rate, both properties are the same rate, because you don't have that property now. You're trying to tell him, oh, Ripoku is this, Ripoku is that, is waterlogged, is not good, it's not a dry land, just because you want to make your sale. This is one thing I've noticed realtors add in their pitch, that they're trying to change the clients from getting what he wants to his own. What will you say about that situation?
Okay. If a client, like for example, myself, if a client approaches me that he wants to get a property in Rupoku, right? Meanwhile, I have a property at Eneka. Okay. I will just tell him that if you're buying a property in Rupoku, make sure you are buying from the rightful owner. I will make sure that I will educate him, the processes he needs to take just to make sure that he's buying right. most times at the end of the day, these clients will come back.
to you because you were
to me because
truthful.
I like indirectly
showed
I saw
integrity.
value
Yeah, exactly.
to them. Okay, this person that told me all this, probably she might be working with lawyers, with surveyors. Okay, madam, please, I want to work with you. All right. Like most times I don't have clients that's in clients that come to me directly. Most times I just see payments. That's
Receipts and
payment
everything.
receipts and all that to my WhatsApp. I was like, we've not been chatting all this while, madam. I saw you online. The kind of messages you drop. You know, it makes me to come to you. I feel you're a professional. I feel you're somebody that wants to help me. You're not sounding desperate. You understand?
Yes.
So these people, when you sell value to them, I think they will come back. Another realtor will be by the side. Sir, please pay today, pay tomorrow. But I'm not in that line of pay today, pay tomorrow. I will only tell you, sell the value to you. It is now an option for you to choose who you want to be your realtor.
Exactly. I feel like that's one thing Ambassador Praise always tells us. You tell us to always sell value more than the product you want to sell. So now to every realtor out there that feels like you should go and tell them to come and buy from you by all means. No. Tell them value. They eventually come back. Show integrity. Yeah, exactly. So my one question I have from you now is, what advice would you want to give, or what do you see realtors do when pitching that you know that it's bad and you want to correct them on that?
Okay. During pitching, some realtors tend to, they want to sell everything.
Okay.
All right. So I have a property at Elikwawodo. I have at Rupoko. I have at no. When a client comes to you, there are questions you ask from just like a doctor. If you go to meet a doctor will like to, ask you some questions. From there, he will know exactly the points where you have pain. So semi-real estate. When a client comes, you don't just talk and talk and talk. No, you just ask a question and then listen. It is from their feedback that you know what the client really wants. If you are the one doing all the talking,
you're not listening
you
to
don't
them.
listen. You get so the client will be like, are you sure this one can, I can trust this one with my money. All right. And then the way you also sound when you are relating, when you are okay, the first time a client calls, he will just be like maybe in a noisy background. Maybe, there are some kind of things that client will just call back, they'll cut the call. All right. So you should always try to be in a peaceful background, even if you are not in a peaceful background. When you just see a call and you just notice maybe it's from a client, you should kind of know how to, keep yourself. And then the way you also talk to the clients, the tone and all that. Yeah.
So we know that we have realtors that are watching this thing, both new, intermediate, and people that have been in the business. And we know you as a seasoned one that has explored this real estate world. And we want you to tell us, what common objection do you feel like clients always? So now this is for the new realtors that are just coming into the business. What common objection should they expect from clients, and how can they exactly work with that and move out of that whole objection?
Okay. We usually get this one, it's very expensive. Hey, this estate is so expensive. I'll be like, sir, all right. How much do you think that you want to get this property? Okay. If you give it to me for maybe a property of 20 million, and you will say, if you give it to me for 10 million naira, that's what I have. Okay. I will not say, sir, what if we offer you a payment plan option?
Okay.
All right. Something that you can commit the 10 million naira, and then I might even go the extra mile of telling you to do like 4 months without interest. Okay. Yes. So when you talk like this, you see that client coming down. Okay, I can even, spread these payments and then I can own it at the end of the day. All right. You can even tell them, you can even go ahead to tell them that it's all inclusive. You're not paying agent fee. You're not paying documentation fee. Yeah. So if you go to the street to buy, you end up paying higher because you hire a lawyer, you hire a surveyor, you also do your due diligence, going round and round and round to, source for all these people, the time wasted and all that. So here we make it seamless for you. You see that such clients finally will buy from you.
Okay. So in summary, one of the objections we as new realtors should expect is clients telling you that it's too expensive.
Yeah.
And one way we can solve this is by showing them that there are available payment plans, trying to work with their budget. And thank you so much, man. That makes so much sense. So moving on now, we'd like to know how important are the first 30 seconds of a pitch? And what should you say in that first 30 seconds?
Okay. Now, you know the usual way now that Realtors start their video. Hello, smart investor. Hello, smart investor. Like every Realtor is saying the same thing. You know, when these clients watch, they'll just
Every
throw
ad
past.
you move.
You know, hello, smart. They're just tired of hearing these words. But when they watch your video and you start with a good caption, I have one of the most beautiful estates in Port Harcourt right now that every smart investor wants to key into. So, or you start with let me introduce you to a fast selling estate right here in the heart of Port Harcourt.
Perfect hooks.
Yes. So if you say these things, I think a client will want to stop by and what's she really saying?
But in a situation where you went for marketing or you went out or something, you saw somebody that looks like a prospective buyer, how would you do like a face-to-face pitch to that person? Like now that you're saying, so we know that the art's own, if we use good hooks, like what you've taught us now, we can use any of these two hooks. I know that it's you would stop. Nobody's scrolling past it. They want to hear what I have to say. But now in a situation where I have to talk to the person face to face, what would I say? Like that first 30 seconds, what should I say to the person?
Okay, me, I'm not a fan of offline marketing. So yes, all my clients, I get them online. I'm still trying to learn that part of offline marketing
Okay,
though.
well.
But if you should meet a prospective client, I think you shouldn't show yourself as somebody that sells properties. You should just pitch like somebody that wants to help them build wealth. Okay, all right. So good day, sir. I'm Gloria from Chiglosco Homes Limited. We help you build your wealth. We help you to increase your investment portfolio. He'll be interested.
Okay.
How is she going to do this? Do you understand? You don't say, I sell properties. No, you don't say that.
But then I feel like majority of the times we still get objections from these people.
It depends. What kind of objection?
Like, I'm not interested. Go away, go away. Real estate people carry your problem and go. Kind of stuff.
No, it's because of the way you introduce yourself
Okay.
and the way you're looking.
Exactly. I feel like that works. We have to, I think, look the way you want to be addressed,
Yes.
right? Exactly. Thank you so much, Ma. So we've talked about storytelling, but then I wanted to know what makes a story memorable and persuasive to a client.
Okay. Yeah. Stories are good if you use them to sell properties. Like you telling a client, maybe a story of someone that's never thought that he could own a property. You know, someone introduced him to you and you tried to inquire what his budget was. And finally, you had to work with his budget by giving him the option of paying small, small. At the end of the day, this particular person finished paying for his property and his documents were handed over to him and he got allocated. And this particular person has never forgotten you in his life. And to even cap the whole story, that the person came back the next year to see that the property he bought for 5 million was now selling for 20 million naira. I think if you should, tell all these points in a story, number one, you're telling them the return on investment. Number two, you are telling them that they could buy properties without having all the money at once. Okay. Number three, you are telling them that property ownership is something that everyone has to, do.
Invest
I
in.
think if you are using a story, you should, know how to fix in all these things so that at the end of the day, they can actually derive some lessons.
So they
from
can
it.
actually go home and remember, oh, that rule that I met.
Yes.
So they can reach out to you. And,
Yeah.
okay, thank you, Ma. But now we talked about objections. Is it possible to turn objections into opportunities? So there are times where I can walk up to a client or a prospect and I'm trying to say, oh, hi, I am from Triconna Real Estate. We help you invest, build wealth and everything. But then I'm getting objections like, I'm not interested. How exactly can I turn that objection to opportunity? Is it possible?
Okay. I think maybe the objections will come in when maybe you sound you are sounding so salesy, like you want to sell something to them. If they see you as somebody that is communicating value, my dear, everybody wants to increase his investment portfolio and they want a seamless process to this. Do you understand? Yes, because if you go around the city, most of these rich people, in one way or the other, they got in contact with real estate. So if you're coming to somebody to tell them that you could become rich through real estate, they want to hear. Everybody wants to, be among the rich people. So it depends on your language and your tone. So this objection of a thing, fine, it happens everywhere. It happens every time, but it depends on how you want to manage it. Okay. If you feel that I'm getting objections every time, you have to go home and re-strategize. All right. We've talked about storytelling. We've talked about giving plenty options at the same time.
Yes,
you should look for what this client. Okay, looking at somebody now. This guy is rich. He's driving a Land Cruiser. He has a family. Of course, he has a place he's staying. And we have different options in real estate. Which one am I preaching to him? Of course, you shouldn't preach land to him.
Okay, ma'am.
You should preach like short-let apartments. Something that will give him passive income. Do you understand?
Yes,
so when you see people, you should know what you tell them that will make them want to listen to you. You can't see a very rich man and you're telling him to come and buy land. By the that man you're talking to have like 100 plots of land somewhere, hectares and
definitely.
acres. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So you should know what to preach to these people. If you think, okay, he has plenty houses, you can come up with the real estate investment aspect.
Okay.
All right. Yes, where you earn money
by just investing.
Yes, by just investing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense. Now I know that I can actually turn objections into opportunities. Thank you for that, Ma. So, Ma, we've been going for marketing. Let me use the word networking instead. For instance, the just concluded Bole Festival, we went here to network with people so we can probably talk with them, get their numbers and everything. But personally, I feel like it doesn't exactly work. Not like it wouldn't work, but if we can get an advice on how we can do that. So I've walked up to a person now. I'm talking to you like we are Bole Festival. Let me use that as an example. We are vibing and everything. And then how can I change that conversation I'm talking as per just normal vibing conversation to me pitching to that person?
Okay. You can after exchanging pleasantries, you can go ahead to ask the person, where do you live?
Okay.
You understand? Like, you're talking, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Where do you live? The person might tell you, Kitodele. You understand? Number one, like, you are now placing him,
Yes.
as a prospective client. But if the person tells you, like, a place like D-Line, you already know. Yeah, you're keeping this person. You understand? Like Obunaba, all those areas. Okay. So the location where a person lives, tells you more about the person's lifestyle. All right. So from that conversation, you might also want to, from the conversation, you should know if this person is already a landlord or a tenant. Okay. You could come up with questions like, if I should get you a land where you can build and you can pay small, and at the end of the day, you're not paying extra fee. There are ways you can, chip in these words, and the person will be like, this is somebody that I want to be around. Okay? Yes.
So we can just gingerly, calmly, and then move from just conversations to pitching. Right. That's so good, man. But one quick exercise. So we know that people that sing, they can have exercises where they sing to change their voice and all that. For introverted realtors that are probably scared to talk to people, or how can they train themselves? How can they even practice those pitches so that they know that they are going to talk to somebody and they're not flopping? I'm not stammering. I'm talking directly. I know what I want to say. How can I practice? How can I do that?
Okay. You can be doing that first thing in the morning. You write out maybe some, some sales pitches and all that. You write it, or maybe how to handle an objection, like this place is too far, how to handle it, it's too expensive, how to handle it. Every morning you recite these things, and how to handle the objections. Before you sleep in the night, you recite it. You can also get a kind of partner that's, they call it accountability partner, right? Okay. You can get an accountability partner. When you're done reciting, you can send the person the script. please help me go through. Is there a mistake? You can also record your voice while doing it. At the end of the day, you can just listen to yourself. If you made mistake, if there are places that you know you didn't do well, then you can also do better.
I think that would really help a lot of us out there. So the subtopic of this program is turning complex sales pitches into simple, compelling reasons to buy. And now I want to say, probably I have to go and pitch to somebody. Let's say I'm pitching to somebody that's already like knows about the real estate industry. I can go ahead and say stuff like C of O, deed of conveyance, and all that. Now, let's say I have to talk to a layman that doesn't know about the real estate words, terminologies, and all that. How can I break down that pitch? What simple words can I use to still explain to this person the way I would have explained to somebody that already knows about it?
Okay. Like C of O, just like I said, what every realtor is saying, this land has C of O, you get it of convenience, you get that.
Later. Blah, blah, blah.
Yes. So for you to stand out as a realtor, you have to look for a way to make this word sound friendly to the client.
Okay.
You can just tell the person that this land is free from government attraction, is free from every form of encumbrance, that maybe even in the next 10 years, your property is
safe and secured.
Safe and secure. The government is not coming after it. Okay. Things like deed of conveyance, they don't know these things. You just tell them it's simply, okay, you have a kind of official agreement, okay, between you and the seller.
Okay.
Yeah. And things like return on investment, they don't know what ROI simply means. So you can really tell them that is an extra profit that you gain after buying, that your land will just keep giving you more money after you have invested.
But Ma, you said we can look at people and know where we place them. In a situation now where you just seen somebody, how would you know what pitch to go for? Like, I have prepared pitches that I've prepared a pitch that I want to use to talk to someone that will get our Pure Heaven Estate 1.6 million. I've prepared another pitch that I know that somebody that can afford Velcrest of 20 million. How would I exactly know? Because now we know that not everybody tend to dress the way they want to be addressed or the way they are. I can come up with shots and then I'm like a mother's millionaire or something. Okay. How would I exactly know what pitch? Should I create a pitch that would have the both of them in it or what?
Number one, the kind of place you visit for your marketing.
Okay.
All right. Yes, you're going to GRA now, to do marketing. You already know the kind of clients you are meeting. All right. You're going to artillery for marketing. You already know the kind of people that you're going to meet there. All right. Then when you see somebody, you can just walk up to the person. Hello, sir. You look so good. You look like one of my brother that works in Intel. The person will laugh. Oh, really? That's exactly where I work. There are ways you can, make people to tell you where they work and where they live. You can even say, you look like one of my brother lives in GRA. It depends on where you are meeting the person. Okay. These are little ways you can actually get questions, as in get answers
from them.
Yes.
But I beg to differ, because there are sometimes you go to, let's say, artillery we used, and there are some big men there. There are still people that cannot even afford 1.6 on. And then these people are probably dressed the same way. Let's use about the eastern states. We know that there are some shops you go to in Aba, and then these people are looking like they are sales boys. But you don't know that these people they have the whole plaza there. Mm-hmm. How can you exactly differ or distinguish between these persons when it's not exactly out there?
Mm-hmm. Like some of my clients that I've met in real life, when I see them, some of them, they're not even well. Some of these big boys, they don't like dressing
very simple.
So that's why I always encourage everybody: don't talk to people anyhow. Greet people, smile with them. Sometimes the way you even, talk to them will make them to come to you. I want to buy this property. You'll be surprised. That person that is not dressing will buy a property of 40-something million naira. Sometimes they will know that this property is selling for maybe 3 million and they will come to you. Baby girl, I have 2 million naira for this property. And me and you know that in Port Harcourt now, property of 2 million might be inside Ipo.
Airports.
Do you understand? This person is telling you that he has 2 million naira for a property in Rupoko. You don't start by shouting. Oh, no, you don't do that. You get. How you even tell the person congratulations for even having the mind to use 2 million naira to get a property. Some people will just go and throw the money maybe in a pub or somewhere, but you have the mind to want to use it to buy a property. You can tell the person, but this money you can actually use it to get properties, but look at the areas this money can get to this property. Now, looking at the Rupoku you are talking about, I can help you get something of maybe 6 million or 8 million naira, and I also make you to pay small. You will not just feel it that you're paying. There are ways to talk to people and they'll feel at home with you. Mm-hmm. And they will even want to tell you more, okay, there's this money I'm expecting next month. Let me just drop
pay this one now. I'll pay the other one
next month. I will drop that one. And my sister even told me that she even wants to get property. I like the way you talk.
Repair house, exactly. Yes. So I feel like what I have picked from what you said now is, first, we shouldn't judge people by their dress sense. Oh. Then when you see somebody, try to listen to them. You told us to listen, hear from them first before we know what we are pitching. Exactly. So let's ask and know before. So now, for those people that I feel like there's some persons that cannot exactly see you and know what you're doing, even when you've answered them. It's not everybody that their brain grabs very fast. There's some people that I'll see you, I'll talk with you. Just in the first 60 seconds, I know who you are. I know what I can pitch to you. Probably from your tone, your intonations, how you're speaking to me. Oh, I know, okay, you are here, you're there. But then there's some people that I don't think they can do it. So is there anything we can use to advise them concerning that part?
I don't get it.
Okay, so I said, in a situation where you told us to listen, we should ask questions, listen and get to understand your client first. So before knowing what to pitch to them. So basically, I want to know, there's some persons that don't know how to, let's say, read a person. Let's use that word.
Realtors that don't know how.
Yes. So like I've seen you, I've spoken with you for like 60 seconds. I've asked you questions, but then I'm not still grabbing who you are or what level you are in. What advice can we use? What way can we use to do that?
Okay. Maybe the person is not free with you at that time.
Okay.
I think you might need to give the person a little time and maybe you come back. And then you going away, you're not going away completely. You might have the person's number. You'd be like, hello, I'm so person we met at this so place. Would you mind to save my number? When they save your number, you will be the one going to their WhatsApp to go and check for their stories and status.
Okay.
You comment and all that. You understand? And then get so, yes, when you are commenting, the person will also want to check you out. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, that's very good. Mm-hmm. So, Ma, what 3 mistakes should we as realtors or business professionals avoid in pitching?
Okay. When you sound too salesy, like, we'll come and buy today, the promo is ending today. Okay. No, instead you should use like testimonials. All right. So you just send the person a simple video of maybe people that bought that property and they got allocated and they are happy, or people that are making like several receipts of payments. You can, even if you're not the one that made the sale, you can get that from the company. Okay. You just maybe tell the secretary, please, I want to get receipts. I will blind the names. Okay. Yes, you can do that. Some people are really paying for this property. This property is so nice. That's why they are rushing it. Okay. You can even have a video of inspection where they were moving in group. Like, I don't even encourage personal inspection. Okay. Let's bring them to the office on that day that everybody's here, so that they will see that I'm not the only one buying this. Every other person is investing too.
Yes. So the first one is we should not be desperate. Right? Thank you. So what do so many pitches fail even when the property is good? So I've prepared my pitch. It's good. To me, it's good. The property is good. The futures of the property is good. But now I'm going to go and pitch to somebody and it's not working. It's not like the person cannot afford. Probably my pitch is not convincing enough. So how can I make that pitch convincing enough? What advice or what do you feel like we should always add to our pitches?
Okay. You should always know the client's pain points. Okay. They always have a pain point. So when you are telling them what is not really their pain point, they seem not to understand you. This man needs a house and you're telling him to buy land. He will never listen to you. Do you understand?
Yes.
He's looking for where to grow his money. He has a lot of land, he has a lot of houses. He wants to invest, he wants to do investments, and you're coming to tell him to come and buy land. He will not listen to you. Do you understand?
Yes.
So you should always know these people, their pain points. All right. Now, trying to push too many properties at the same time. A client wants a property. That place is friend, but that is the place he wants. That land. And maybe his budget is not up to that particular amount. And you're telling him another place. He will not listen to you.
He wants
You need to do a miracle for him to acquire that land. If it means you going to the MD, so look at the amount this person had. Is there a way that
we can find
you can even do 6 months without interest for him? He wants that place. You're telling him another place. He will never listen to you.
At all. So yeah, I think that makes so much sense. So Ma, before we end this evening section, we'd like to know if every realtor listening could do just one thing differently, what would they do?
Okay. Stop sounding like every other realtor. Hello, smart investor. No, you shouldn't just use that at all. You should communicate value. Start your videos with hooks that will make them to be attracted to hear what you're about to say for the next 1 hour. All right. So stop sounding so much salesy to this client. A client is calling you and you're telling him that the property is so priced 5 million and all that. No, they want to know what they will stand to benefit if they buy from this property. They always want you to help them. That is one thing this client, they will just want somebody that they can feel at home with, somebody that wants to help them. You are calling them, your document is ready. Please, can you bring it to my house? No, I'm busy. Or can you bring it? You're always for me busy, even after the sales part. Okay, they bought this property and you don't know if this person wants to refer you or he wants to buy again. You just want to close that relationship. He's calling you for further things. Sometimes he's not even pick their calls. Why is he calling me? Don't buy property now. All those things,
So still build the relationship, keep it going.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I feel like I've had a great time this evening. Thank you so much for the knowledge you've shared. I'm very sure every realtor out there would be so glad that they got to listen to you this evening. Thank you, Ma, for being here with us.
Thank you for having me.
And with that being said, Capacity Building Training is proudly brought to you by Triconna Association of Realtors platform, a platform that helps realtors like you grow and prosper together. Join a community of like-minded individuals and thrive together in this real estate market. A link has been dropped in the chat box below. Click it to join our community where you can join us and be part of a growing community together. We cannot wait to have you. With that being said, this brings us to the end of the Capacity Building Training September edition. I am Christabel Charles and it was an honor to host you this night. Bye and see you on the next one.